Hey, I'm Saving Content Zone, Ed Acosta, and welcome to dotEXE, a saving content podcast. It's episode 22, and joining me on this latest and greatest episode is Mr. Minecraft himself, Eric Acosta.
Hello, it is me, Mr. Minecraft. Indubitably.
Also joining me is the generally great, gorgeously goofy, gargantuanly generous Genevieve.
Hi.
What an intro.
that was like a build up. Hi.
Short, sweet, to the point. Unlike the intro I gave.
Very succinct.
So we're back on this 22nd episode, and we've got ourselves another guest. Everybody loves the guests. I love our guests.
Yay.
So let's start with our guest, Genevieve. It's been a little bit since you've been on the show. What have you done since then, or anything you want to talk about that you're bringing to the table today?
I've been playing Stone Block with my whole family, including my uncle Ed.
I know this fella.
Really? Surprising.
I know.
And we've been playing it like every night.
I'd say just about.
Especially my mom. She's like, once she gets home from dance, she's like, okay, and Stone Block.
Your mom's good at doing all so in Stone Block, it has a bunch of mods in there of different,
250 some mods.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And some of them are like the organization type of stuff. And some of them are like separate, I don't know what you call it, like quests and missions.
Yeah.
And your mom really likes to do like the collection of all the chickens or collection of all the cows or,
Well, I do the cows, excuse me.
You
do the cows, she does the chickens, and then my dad does all the hard stuff.
Of course. He's got all the engineering stuff.
Yeah, like, how do you do the Thaumcraft? You look up how to do it, and you give it to my dad.
I mean, that sounds like the most appropriate way to do it.
Yep.
That's about what happens every time we play.
I don't understand this. Eric, you do it.
Basically, actually, there was a chest in the most recent one we've played, where I had given you the task of making the automated sieving setup. And then later, there was a chest that said something along the lines of Eric's items for automated sieve.
We'll come back later. Or something.
We'll come back later, Ed.
And he never came back. He never came back.
It said later. Didn't say any specific date or time. So I was going to come back to it, but then you just had the time and you did it on your own, so it's okay. It all worked out.
Nice.
I was busy mining, doing what the game.
Mining your own business.
Yes.
Why?
It's my mining, and I want it now. I don't think Genevieve gets that reference.
I don't.
I don't think so. That's definitely a J.G. Wentworth, right?
That
yes.
one flew right
it's
by
my
head.
cash, and I want it now.
I'm so confused.
Call J.G. Wentworth. 877 cash now.
It's a commercial, Genevieve.
I'm only 10.
It was an old commercial.
Y'all are in your 30s. I'm 10.
Thank you for thinking so highly of me.
I didn't say exactly what 30s you're in. Okay. Just 30s.
We'll say that's a good guess. All right, so you've been playing Stone Block and you're playing the Minecraft. So how often do you play Minecraft when it's not just with the family? Do you play on like your computer on your own? Do you play on a different console or anything?
Sometimes I play on my computer, but that's like not very often.
Mm-hmm.
But I sometimes go on my Switch if I'm just bored and I don't want to watch YouTube or do or play Splatoon or anything. Most of the time when I want to play Minecraft, I play it on my Switch, and I just go into survival, and then I do stuff.
So you would prefer to play survival over creative, or is it the other way?
I'd rather play. I don't know.
Well,
how am I supposed to know? It's like my favorite food. How am I supposed to know that?
Well,
I think that's probably one of those, like, it depends on who you're playing with, right? If you're playing by yourself, I usually see you playing in creative. But if you're playing with mommy and daddy or, the family, you tend to play more survival.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna actually try survival, and then I do I'm like 10 minutes into that world, and I'm like, I don't have anything to do. So then I get rid of that world, and then I start a new world, and same thing happens. So then I decide to go into creative. So I try.
Well, that was my issue with Minecraft initially when it first came out many moons ago. Was that you had to create your own mission. You had to create your own end goal. So without, like, vanilla Minecraft for me is very bland and boring.
Yeah.
It's not a lot to it. But like that's why I like Stone Block or Sky Factory or Chicken Block.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
those ones, they give
Sky
you
Block.
Sky Factory, yeah.
So Sky Factory, whatever. There is Sky Block, but we played it like once and then we didn't play it again.
Well, Sky Block, I believe, is considered like a game type, and Sky Factory is a specific Feed the Beasts.
Okay, we've been
version
playing a
of
lot
Sky
of
Block.
We've been playing a lot of a word and then block. Okay, I've been getting confused.
So wrap your head around this one, Genevieve. So I was playing I believe it was a beta at the time of Minecraft when your brother was younger than your sister.
Huh.
Yeah. That's how long Minecraft has been more or less in production / game.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, has there been any other games that you've been playing, or has it been kind of strictly Minecraft for the time being?
It's really only been Minecraft that are games that I've been playing.
Okay.
But I've been doing a few other things.
Oh, what else?
What you got?
A few days ago, I made this thing called Lumpia with my dad.
Ah, yes.
Because it was competition camp this week. And we took it in, and everyone was like, "Can you make it again?" And my dad was like, "I'm sorry, we can't. We have to go to Frederick to get the Lumpia wraps." And they're like, "Aw, but we won it. Maybe next competition camp."
Well, that's
yeah. For those that don't know what Lumpia is, think of like a spring roll, but less vegetables, and usually it's made with pork or beef. I made this with beef just because I didn't feel like having possible undercooked pork from deep frying.
Yeah, I mean,
beef is a little easier.
If you put a little bit in there,
it should be fine.
It should be fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Did you try the method I mentioned the other day about the piping bag?
Yes, we used the piping bag, and they actually ended up like really good.
Well, good.
They were like perfect. Like it was the perfect cylinder, perfect amount. It was great. So if anyone does make Lumpia on their, that's listening to this, Ed had made a mention of taking a piping bag and putting the filling inside the piping bag and then piping piping it out onto the wrapper.
Yeah.
And it works great. It cut down the time to wrap by easily in half.
Well, yeah, because you're not trying to guesstimate, how much on a spoon or in your fingers to put on there. You can just lay it out in a nice little row and then just cut it off and wrap.
Yep.
Yep. It was like super easy.
Super easy.
I think I got a little bit of more strength in my right hand because I was squeezing it with my right hand. And it's like you put your 2 fingers at the top and then you squeeze with the rest, your middle finger, your ring finger, and your pinky. And you just squeeze with those.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just build up a muscle and just you get stronger there.
So you can also twist a little bit at the top to help give it a little pressure.
Yeah, that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, so it doesn't require as much squeezing because there's already pressure there.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah.
So did you save any for yourselves? That's the question.
I ate 5.
So from what Des said, she went out. She had to go out for something because they're at the dance camp, the competition camp, and she had to go out for something, and it only took her like 30 minutes. And by the time she gotten back, all 50 of them were gone.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Mom. They're all gone. I'm sorry.
They are like the perfect snack size in like, because you could sit there and eat a bunch of them and not realize how many you've eaten.
Yeah, they're like as long as either like a pointer finger or a ring finger. Like they're like that small, but like pounded and filled with flavor. They're just mwah.
Oh, yeah. Well, and also for anyone that listening that doesn't know, again, lumpia, it's a Filipino dish. So it's like a Filipino egg roll. So if you want to make it, it's not terribly difficult to make the filling and stuff. It's time consuming to wrap it and then fry it.
Yeah, that's the long part is the wrapping. The frying's not too bad if you do it in batches, but it's one of those like bacon where once you're done frying, it is hard not to just eat it right there and there.
Yeah.
Yep. Or like tamales.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Same thing. It's one of those you take it out and you're like, I want it now. Hot.
I still want to do either lumpia filled tamales or like adobo filled tamales.
I want to do it. I want to try the adobo filled tamale.
That would be good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe that'll be one of the next. Probably not the next next dotEXE, but I always said saving content, which is that's content? Not a that's a website, not one of our podcasts.
It's a website.
That's a website.
This one is dotEXE.
That is true.
Yay.
Now I see on our little show notes here that you've also binge watched a show. Now, what goes great with binge watching but food? So, what show did you binge watch and what did you snack on?
I binge watched this show called Liv Maddie, and there's 4 seasons, and each season has about like 20 episodes. And I actually snacked on like cornflakes.
Oh, okay.
Or Frosted Flakes.
In her bed, by the way.
Hey, as long as you don't make a mess.
I cleaned up the mess because I ate them off my bed.
Yeah.
I ate them. I ate my cereal, and then if I had any on the bed, I picked it up and ate it because I didn't.
Now, are we sure that's not code for I picked it up and gave it to the dog?
No, it's not. Grit was in his bed the whole time. He's like 5 feet away from me when I'm in my bed.
He's looking up at the bed. It's like, are you gonna drop me any food? No. Okay.
Our dog's name is Groot, like the Guardians of the Galaxy character, and he sleeps in Genevieve's room because Groot is her puppy.
When I move out, I'm stealing him.
Aww.
He is mine. No excuses.
I'm sure he will have no qualms leaving.
You do not need to fight me for that.
Like, you can keep that dog. Like, I will take it.
I love Groot, but I don't need to continue feeding the dog. That's one less payment headache that I have to deal with.
Yeah, because you're going to be feeding the bunny and Maris still. Because I think, didn't Mom want to keep Brookie?
Yeah, I mean, that all depends on...
Because she wanted to keep Oreo, but she can't now.
Well,
I mean, technically you can.
Brookie.
He's in the backyard, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Brookie. Those bunnies, I have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure they're like 12, 15 year as a normal lifespan.
Wow.
Which is, about average for small animals like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a bird that'll last,
Right.
longer than you.
Or a turtle.
Yeah.
Or a turtle.
Yeah.
But binge watch, what you said, Liv and Maddie. For those who...
Now that's
The
two
older-
words, Liv and Maddie, not living
Right.
Maddie.
No, Liv and Maddie. For those, the older crowd, what is this show?
It's a show about twin sisters
Mm-hmm.
that do things because it's all around the
Oh.
place. It's like, so Liv is like more of a Broadway star or like likes acting,
Okay.
and then Maddie's more of like an athlete and she likes basketball.
so
and
you
then
got the different
they
polarizing things.
Yeah,
Right.
and then
So it's a sitcom,
yeah,
right?
basically,
Okay.
yeah. And then they have two younger brothers, I think younger. One of them's younger. I don't remember. I don't know about the other one, but Parker is like basically like he wants to be a scientist, and then in middle school people used to call him Dr. P, but then he moved to high school, and then in the last season they like moved to a summer house because he ruins the house, like breaks the house down on accident.
Okay.
And then Joey is the other brother, and he is the one that has more of a girly voice, but
Okay.
it was never popular until he came to the new school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a sitcom, like a kid's sitcom.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of it, because again, she binge watched it, so there was times where she would watch it out in the living room. The character Liv and the character Maddie are played by the same actress,
Dove
Dove
Cameron.
Cameron.
Yes, Dove Cameron.
Yeah, so they're not actually twins. It's just the same actress, and they do the whole, when they're talking to each other, they're either not touching so that, there's a gap so they can do the editing, or you see from over the shoulder behind one talking and then like the blonde hair of the other one,
Yeah.
vice versa.
So have we
yes.
seen this girl in like anything else, or is she pretty much known for this show?
She's in Descendants 1 and
She's
2
Mal?
and 3. Yeah, she's Mal with the purple hair.
Yeah.
She
was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, for like a few episodes.
I think she was
Oh.
like 4 or 5 episodes. I can't remember what her character was.
I didn't watch it with you guys that much, so I
Yeah,
do
so you're not
know.
really not much of a help, are you? She's done a fair amount of other things.
Yeah, like she's mostly known for Descendants and her music.
Yes, yeah, that's right. She did do music stuff, didn't she?
Yeah, and then she also like did like a recreation or like a reboot or whatever of Genie in a Bottle.
Oh, the song, yeah.
Yeah, that was
what's
going
her-
in my head 24/7, like when I was like 8.
Running in my head.
Oh my god, you're so weird.
Oh, also,
Huh.
I was looking up IMDb on her. She does as you do. She does the voice of Ghost Spider / Gwen Stacy in Marvel Rising Battle of the Bands,
What?
a TV short.
Huh?
And like apparently Marvel Rising was like a short, I don't say short lived, but kind of cartoon TV series.
Huh.
That was on YouTube, I think, also or something like that.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, she's basically Gwen Stacy,
Yeah.
Spider Gwen, or I guess they're calling it Ghost Spider now.
I guess.
Well, so in her universe, she is she's Spider-Woman.
Or Spider-Woman, yeah.
But because there's already a Spider-Woman in the 616, so whenever they refer to Spider-Gwen, it is usually by the name of something else, whether it's the nickname, Spider-Gwen. Ghost Spider was the first time I had heard it was on that that Spidey and His Amazing Friends show.
Yeah, me too.
Uh-huh.
I was like, what?
Because she can't turn invisible or anything, so you don't it not making much sense, but she also wears white. So, maybe.
Maybe? I don't know.
Oh, 2016. She was Spider-Gwen, Gwen Stacy in Ultimate Spider-Man TV series.
Oh, wow. There's a lot of things about her I do not know.
Yeah, the character that she played in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was Ruby. She was in 6 episodes or something like that.
That's cool because her cousin, when she moves to the summer house, that's her cousin's name. Ruby.
Ruby.
Ah.
Like Max and Ruby.
Max and Ruby.
Yeah.
I hated that show. I hated that show. It was so bad. When Genevieve used to watch it, I'm glad Maris doesn't, because every time it would come on, I'd be like, ugh, I need to leave this room. It's just, something about that show. It was like Franklin. Franklin did the same thing to me. I hated Franklin.
That's the turtle, right?
What's that?
Yeah, Franklin the turtle. You've never seen it. It's actually one of Mommy's favorite ones. But I couldn't. I was like, ugh, no. I know. Something about it. Didn't work for me.
I guess.
Well, what about you, Eric? We obviously went into Minecraft. Have you been doing anything else?
Yeah, well, before we go, I also wanted to point out that Dove Cameron was supposed to play Bubbles Utonium, the Powerpuff TV series that was piloted and then is now back into post-production because they're redoing it.
So she was the one playing Bubbles?
She was Bubbles.
In that very short-lived pilot that got its butt handed to it by everybody who watched it?
Yeah, so she was supposed to play Bubbles, and it's still technically in post or pre-production because it's not canceled yet. But,
no, they just went back to the drawing board.
They went back to the drawing board, but what's her face from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I can't remember her name now. Quake, the person who played Quake, can't remember her name, but she dropped out of it because she had
conflict.
They said scheduling conflicts, which was a little confusing to me. Like, you were going to make this show and you were going to be part of this show, and then now they're reworking it, and you have scheduling conflicts.
Well,
but you had already. So I mean, obviously, I don't know the exact
commitment
schedule
stuff. When you run the pilot, you're not guaranteed that it's going to start right away. So there was probably a gap built into there to be like, okay, I'm going to run this pilot, do this, and then I'm going to go do my other thing.
Right. I guess. I mean, but yeah, that she was supposed to play that character, play Bubbles. Oh, Chloe Bennett. That's the name of the person who was supposed to be in that dropped out.
Now, I know it's Professor Utonium, and the three of them are his kids. It sounds weird to me when you add the last name to the
character
name.
Bubbles Utonium.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, because they're never, as far as I remember in the show, they were never addressed as Bubbles Utonium and with their last name. It was always just their first name.
Right.
So I guess technically that is true.
Bop, 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 bop.
But so yeah. What have I been playing? Obviously, Stone Block 2. So we don't really have to go over that much because we already did with Genevieve. But I've also been playing Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires.
Yes, a one I reviewed a couple months back.
Yes. So I like the game.
Mhm.
I think the game's actually very fun. Overall, I do have. So I like Dynasty Warriors games for the main reason is I can be this character that is just overpowered.
Yep.
Like that is the intent. Overpowered. I don't really have to think about strategy. I just need to go. There's a blob of red. Go over there. Square, triangle, square, square, triangle, square, 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 triangle, square, triangle, square, square, triangle. Like I don't need to think about it. And I just like being overpowered and killing things.
Right. You just want to get rid of them all.
Right.
You're basically going and just erasing the red.
Right. So what I like about Empires is that it's not just going and killing. Like there is strategy to it in the battles. Like, there'll be a scheme that comes up that you need to defend, or, you need to protect these people. And then the base, it's not just like going in and killing everyone, they can take forward bases. So you take bases, and the way to get into the castle is by taking most of the bases on the outside and breaking down the doors or climbing getting the ladders or whatever up. So it's not just kill people, go in. You do need strategy to take bases and stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that. I'm not okay. Well, I don't say not okay. The back end stuff of like, diplomacy and all that stuff. It's gotten too much, in my opinion, for a Dynasty Warriors game. It's not too much for that type of game, like a Civ game or whatever, an economy game, based game.
Right.
But for me, as a Dynasty Warriors game, it's gotten too much because I don't really care about the numbers going up in that sense, right? And I don't I don't like how they added this whole open world map. So like if you've played Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires, there's a stroll option. And that's where you can talk to other officers and recruit officers. So you talk to other officers, and the more you talk to them, the more your companionship goes up with them, and then eventually you can attempt to recruit them. And if your companionship's high enough and you get the right lucky roll, you can recruit them onto your team.
For better
which is
or worse,
fine.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, which is fine. It works fine, but if you don't really realize it, because it puts you, in this menu thing, right? You say go to stroll, and then it gives you a list of all the generals that you can talk to. If you don't realize that you can press circle, you can do all of this in the menu.
Yep.
Right? It's all menu based. There's no control. If you press circle to back out, now you're in an overworld, and you can, or an actual world, open world. And you can talk to the characters, and you could run to the city that they're in. But it really felt like that open world was hey, we had an open world in Dynasty Warriors 9. What do we want to do with that in Empires? And they're like, just slam it in there somehow.
Yeah, there's not a real general purpose. I mean, I'm glad they added it for those who want to do it that way. But if you're just going for the path of least resistance, it is definitely just doing it right from the menu.
Right. Well, and like you get no reward, like in like an Assassin's Creed game or Horizons, right? You can go to the tall necks, or you can go to the towers or seek viewpoints and open up more of the world to see more items or whatever, right? There are watchtowers in 9 Empires, but you go to it and it says you've unlocked the watchtower, and all it does is make it go from gray to green on your map. I don't see. I mean, if it does anything else, I couldn't tell you. Aside from maybe see like enemies that are near the watchtower that spawn, but I don't think you get any rewards or anything beneficial to it. And I don't think there's any hidden stuff in the open world.
There is not.
That's sad.
So it is. It's saddening. It kind of makes me long to have just Dynasty Warriors. Like
Well, I mean,
Mhm.
now granted, this is Empires, so it is the, the sub game, the spin-off game. So
Right. It's one of those things where it makes it feel like Dynasty Warriors and Dynasty Warriors Empires can be one game.
they can,
You could have an Empires mode and a general mode.
but they're not going to make more money that way.
Well, obviously.
But obviously.
Well, I don't know. Maybe they might. You never know. I mean,
I don't know.
Well, they
Um,
won't, because the same people who would buy a copy of each because they like Dynasty Warriors would only buy one copy then.
Mm-hmm.
that's true too. The other thing I dislike, and this was because this is that mode that's happening in Dynasty Warriors in general, is they've changed the fight,
Oh.
Yeah.
commands.
Yeah, the combat
because-
is definitely not well, I guess you can say it's an overhaul. It's not negative, but it's not good. It's just different.
It's
Mhm.
doable.
Yeah. Like it's
But, like,
serviceable. Once you know
Yeah.
what you need to do combos, it's fine. It's not great. I still prefer the light, heavy method versus
Yeah.
Right.
doing the light launch attack, then back into more light attacks.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's the best way I could put it, like the review and everything. It's okay. Once you get it down, it's fine. But I
Yeah,
still
it made me
prefer just square triangle.
It made me feel like I was playing a very, very basic fighting game, like a Mortal Kombat fighting game, a side-scrolling fighting game, because it's just that, like, you have your square basic attack, and then you have to square, and then you go, okay, well, I want to kick him up in the air, so now I got to think, okay, R1 and triangle does that,
Mm-hmm.
or do I want to do a stun move, R1 and square? And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
if I wanted to do that, I'd play a fighting game.
Yeah.
Not Dynasty Warriors game. Like, I'm not looking for that in my Dynasty Warriors. But I think because they've gotten so much criticism about Dynasty Warriors games being that, basic attack, that, they wanted, people have been complaining that they want more from that.
Mm-hmm.
It's too simple or whatever. They're changing it, but it's not what I look for in the Dynasty Warriors game.
Yeah.
That in no English voice acting.
Yeah, that's what I miss the most, is just doing the English dubs, and not like a serious dub, but like something that is almost self-aware, but not
Yeah.
quite.
Mm-hmm.
Like self-aware enough to know that, okay, well, it needs to be inflected in this way, but still oblivious enough to feel like it's genuine.
Right. I mean, we have so many inside jokes from Dynasty Warriors. Like me and Ed, we have we'll cut Shoe's feet out from under them.
Yes.
Did they die beautifully? There's the one that me and Des does was, I got her into Dynasty Warriors a little bit, and she made fun of Liu Bei and Zhuge Liang because they kept saying the word benevolent. And she's like, oh, is this person benevolent? Are they benevolent? How benevolent are we? Are we super benevolent? Benevolent.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's an inside joke there too, but it's that, it's the dubbing, the translation, I mean, that may have been slightly off, that made that funny and made the game kind of what it was, because it was serious but not serious. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my little review on Dynasty Warriors 9 Empires. I'll still play it. It's still a fun game.
It is. It's still enjoyable, and the Empires part is still quite nice if you like the tactics aspect of it and everything, and the management.
I mean, overall, it's still done. It's done well for what they're going for.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not bringing in any new fans with this game.
Yeah, exactly. You're not bringing anybody new in. So that's what I've been doing.
Nice.
So, Mr. Host, what you got?
So, only thing I've been doing this week since the last show has just been Minecraft with you guys.
Minecraft.
I made a pizza today, and after I put it in the oven and got it going, I realized, oh, I don't have a pizza cutter. So, just had to use a regular knife and hope I didn't cut myself. But other than that, the one thing I did do was, so there's this tea place called Kung Fu Tea. And their specialty is boba drinks.
Specialty?
Yeah.
Specialty. And they had been running this like special like giveaway thing on their socials for a while where they were giving away like a Nintendo Switch or something, or a copy of like the Kirby game. And everybody, I in the comments would say things, oh, you guys should make a drink with Kirby in it or whatever. And they did. They eventually did. They got licensing from Nintendo, and they made a Kirby and the Forgotten Lands drink. It is a strawberry slush with berry popping boba. And if you're not familiar with what boba is if you know what like tapioca pearls are, just think of those but bigger, and
they have juice inside them.
The popping one does, yes. They're not quite as like gelatinous as say a tapioca pearl is, but still within the same ballpark. But they are delicious, and when you have them in a drink, they're very delicious, especially when it's a nice sugary drink. So. And I went and got me one, and it's supposed to come with the popping boba. Mine, unfortunately, didn't because they didn't have any. So, oh well. It worked out because it was still a good drink.
So sad.
So the next time...
you didn't get the full effect.
Was it?
You didn't get the full effect.
I didn't get the full effect, but it was still good. It was still tasty. Also, it's supposed to come in a special Kirby cup. Like, it has Kirby's face on it. They didn't have any more of those either.
Aw. Sad.
So sad.
But
so you did not get the optimal
I didn't get the
Kirby
optimal experience, sure.
You didn't get the full experience. Like the super full experience.
Right. But it was still quite a mouthful.
Oh my god.
Huh? See what I did there?
I got it.
See, Kirby in his new game has a mouthful mode. And I made the joke about, see?
Oh my god. Why are you my uncle?
Because we're funny.
So next time you guys are down this way, we'll definitely have to go and get some boba.
Yes.
If they still have the Kirby one, we'll get some Kirby ones. If not, they have a wide selection of some bobas. I've had a Terra one. I've had coconut. They got some good like green tea. So
now I want like coconut or mango. Would they have mango? I don't know. Probably. I don't know. Okay.
Well, today's topic. We figured we had a nice long show last time. Let's make this one a nice breeze, just something to get us back into a nice what's the word I'm looking for? Routine? Not routine. Back in the saddle. But that doesn't even make sense because we were back in the saddle last week. Eric, help me out. What am I trying to say?
I have no idea.
Great.
I don't really know.
Well, so today's topic is games that keep us coming back for more. So basically, we've been playing a lot of Minecraft this week. And as I mentioned to Eric and Scott last week, Minecraft is kind of like our fallback, our go-to when, there's not much in the way of new multiplayer stuff. We hop back into that, and that's always good fun. So with the three of us, at least start with one. Is there a game that you you'll always come back to, regardless of, how busy you are or how much you got on your plate. It's just a nice little comfort food of a game. Genevieve, do you have one?
Minecraft.
Okay. I mean, yeah, it is. What makes it a good game for you to come back to that you will feel like you always will enjoy?
I don't always have to play in survival, but if I do, I put it in peaceful.
Yeah,
and it makes it peaceful.
Yeah, that is I'd say that's a good part of having something that is a nice game to come back to, because you know what to expect.
Yeah.
So if you're not looking for something that's super stressful, or you're not looking for something that's super, I don't know, in depth, something that's going to require a lot of thinking, you something like the peaceful mode in Minecraft is great for that.
Yep. Or like a creative and like make a little house.
Yeah. So on the opposite end, if you're looking for something that will kind of tickle your brain and let you get your creative juices flowing, the creative mode where you're given everything within the game to build with without having to go and actually mine it for resources is great. It's like having a big bucket of Legos.
Yeah.
It's very literally virtual Legos.
Yeah.
So other than Minecraft, is there another game, though, that you kind of consider like your comfort food of gaming?
I guess I could say Splatoon, or like maybe Spiritfarer.
All right. So what makes let's start with Spiritfarer. What makes Spiritfarer something that you can come back to? Considering that one is also a story-driven game, and it's not like something that's very repeatable once you beat the game, obviously. What makes it so that you enjoy coming back to it?
I just kind of enjoy it because it's about taking people or animals / people souls things after they've lived a long life. They go to this boat. I'm basically the spirit farer. Why? That's why the game is called Spiritfarer.
Right.
And I take them to the after world.
Yeah, you are guiding them to their final resting spot, basically, right? So, is it just the calm and serene atmosphere of the game that just makes it feel comfortable for you to come back to? Or is it more along the lines of like the relationships you build within the game that you just want to catch back up with or something?
I just like coming back to like build more on my boat. Look at the cute little animals.
Of course.
Explore new islands. And just like help the people and stuff. Or like the animals, not people. Oh my god.
Well, in all technicality, they were people, so
and then they turned into the weird spirit things, and then they turned into animals, and then they go back to a spirit thing.
Right.
They didn't turn into a weird spirit thing. They passed away, and you're ferrying them to the spirit world.
So whatever.
Yeah.
So what about you though, Eric?
I don't typically replay games. And the only overall game that I actually ever go back to is Minecraft. But it's mainly because I don't tend to go back to like there's always something to do in it. And there's a new mod or a mod I can find to play separately or so like, I play Stoneblock too, obviously, or Sky Factory with the kids and Dez. But also like I'll go back and play. I've played like Sev Tech and some of the kitchen sink mods they have like or like real life or RL Minecraft, real life Minecraft, or you have to you don't just punch a tree. You got to like pick up a stick, like it's on the ground. You have to pick it up.
Just punch that tree.
Right, and, you can't just punch a tree. You have to make something out of a stick and then use the stick to knock the tree down or something.
Yeah.
Or like Pixelmon and stuff like that. So like the overall game, Minecraft, I go back to, but it's as if like you were going to say like, I went back to Horizon, but there's a mod that makes it completely different.
Sure.
It just uses the assets from Horizon, and now instead of fighting big robot monsters, now you're fighting alien. I guess you kind of do that too, but
yeah, Minecraft is kind of like its own better Roblox, because there's one base game, but there's a bunch of other little kind of games in that one game. Because you can have like CurseForge, Feed the Beast, Steam,
or you could or you can do just stuff. The blank Java, and mod that way.
Yep.
But yeah, it would have to be Minecraft, because I don't think I've ever. The only other game that I remember going back to is Mass Effect, but that's when Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out.
What about the simulators? You come back to those every once in a while.
That's true, but then again, like I've like with Snowrun, I beat it, and I am not going back to that. Yeah, I mean, I guess I go back to the simulators to play when like Hard Spacebreaker, Shipbreaker, Hard Space Shipbreaker. I always get those words mixed up. Hard Ship. I did it again. Hard Space Shipbreaker.
Hard Spaceship Breaker.
Yeah. I go back to that and play that just when I need when I want a monotonous breaking down of a ship, or Power Washer Simulator or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, or like
You're
the
right. Yeah,
house simulator thingy.
Yeah.
The car mechanics.
Car mechanic simulator. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I go back to those often, not often, but when I have nothing else to play or nothing new to play. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd say for me, other than Minecraft, because we've gone on about Minecraft quite a bit, is whatever the latest Forza is at the time. So like a racing game usually is easy for me to hop back into and just drive a few laps, or set a few times, whatever.
Nice.
So like a Forza, Gran Turismo to a point. It depends on the Gran Turismo. 7 has been a little funky, so not so much lately. But whether it's like a Need for Speed or a Forza Motorsport, I can easily just hop back in and drive and just put on a podcast, put on some music, and just cruise. Another one that I found that I can easily hop back into at any time and just be like, yep, I'm good. I'm enjoying this, is something like Hitman. Specifically like the new trilogy, the 2016 trilogy.
Oh, okay.
Just
see, I can see how people go back to that one, because it's that like,
it is
do this, but in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, it is almost sandbox in its nature. So, I could go back and try to complete challenges and just play the levels totally different ways than I did before, or complete challenges in totally different ways than I did before. If I just want to mess around and try to cause the most ruckus, I could do that. They have things where you try to, well, it's not built into the game, but where you try to eliminate everybody on the map. So
right,
those are things that I can get in there and be like, okay, I just feel like, cleaning up. Let's clean up. Which leads me to something else, is those simulator games where it's just a bunch of monotonous tasks, like a power wash simulator, a the Viscera cleanup detail, the shoot, now why am I drawing a blank on it? The home one.
House designer?
House flipper.
House flipper. Yeah.
So like those guys are, right up my alley and just passing the time again, putting on some music, playing some podcasts, just getting in a Discord chat and rolling.
Yep.
And when I need something to get me down off the, let's say I've just finished a Yakuza or something. I just finished Spider-Man. I finished like an Uncharted or Watch Dogs or Red Dead or something. I can get into one of these games and just unwind. And I will always come back and just enjoy my time, regardless of what mood I'm in. As long as I'm in a mood to play a game, I can hop right in and enjoy myself.
Nice.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, I think, me and Ed have the same kind of taste in that kind of thing. Something that you can just, I don't want to say lose out in or zone out in, but basically that, just something I can listen. I'm paying more attention to the podcast or the music or the conversation I'm having than I am the actual game.
Yeah, it is quite literally the concept of games as like comfort food.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
All right.
But I mean, we've kind of covered that. And before we wrap up, I was looking and I got this thing on my phone while we were doing the podcast here. Apparently Sony is going to have a new PlayStation rewards program.
Yes, so that came out early this morning or early yesterday morning. I forget specifically.
Something like that, yeah.
But it's a points program, kind of similar to like the Microsoft rewards that they do. And, by completing challenges or earning trophies or whatnot, you earn points that can be used to spend towards things. They haven't specifically made mention of, much in the way of what you can get. I think some of the items are like 3D, like trophy models or whatever. They make specific mention to say that they are not NFTs.
Yeah.
Like in bold print, basically, it's like, these are not NFTs.
Not
you
NFTs.
cannot trade these. You cannot sell these. These are non-fungibles.
It's a digital collectible is what they're calling it, but not an NFT, which I applaud them for being very
nice.
No, this is not an NFT. You can't trade or sell them. It is not leveraging any blockchain technologies.
Right.
Which is I'm all for. But it just seemed weird when I first saw it. I was like, they still do the points.
Sony rewards?
Or trophy points.
Really?
Yeah. So if you get trophies in a certain amount of trophies in the game in on your account, you actually get PlayStation points on your Sony or your Sony points on your Sony account.
So as far as I'm aware, that Sony rewards program that they've had for a couple years now is going away.
Okay, so they're doing.
I remember getting an email a while back saying that program was pretty much dying, and this makes sense.
Okay.
Why? So they're bringing this new one in, and that's what's going to take place of it. So with the points that you earn, they say you'll be able to essentially be able to buy like PlayStation Plus time, out of it. So if you do everything, you could probably end up just paying for your own PlayStation Plus subscription each
with your
month.
time. Kind
of like what you can do on the Xbox with the Microsoft rewards. Because you can spend those points towards like Game Pass or for like Xbox Live. And as long as you're sitting there doing all the challenges and everything it's asking of you, you could quite literally have it for free. But it is a lot of stuff to do. And I assume the PlayStation
how much time is that? How much for Microsoft, how much time investment is that to get that basically your time paid for. How much?
It all
How much would it be?
depends because it is part of a larger Microsoft Rewards program. It's not just tied to the Xbox alone. So like,
Right. It's Bing and stuff like that too, right?
So you could go log into your Microsoft account on Bing and then do all the Bing rewards stuff there, earn your points, then get on your Xbox console, do all the Xbox stuff and get your points there. And it all just accumulates in one giant tally. And then you can go and spend that on, gift cards to Amazon if you want, or you can go spend it on raffles for, sweepstakes that they're doing, which I think is a dumb thing to do, but you spend your money the way you want to spend your money.
Right.
Or you can just put it towards, back into your subscriptions. So like I said, so it's going to be similar for Sony. The downside with theirs is that you only have one route to go, which is just playing the games. Now, they also did mention something in that article or that news release was they were going to offer bonuses for like people who end up getting like the first platinum trophy in a period,
the time zone or something
in their region.
Yeah. And then trophies are, what does it say? Awarded for checking off all other trophies affiliated with games and for major blockbusters, releases and stuff like that. So I don't know. They haven't said anything more specific about it that I've seen, but I'm sure, I guess they'll plan on having bigger stuff for big releases and things.
It'll probably end up being similar to how Microsoft kind of does some of their stuff. You get a big release comes out and you'll get like a punch card that says, okay, complete all these punches and you'll get this many Microsoft points. And usually it's something like, okay, go to the new games store page, click. Go and buy the game, click. Go and play 1 hour of the game, click. And then, or it's like unlock an achievement in the game, whatever. And then once you've done all that, then you redeem your thing and you get your points.
Right.
So it'll probably be similar for Sony. Hey, we got the new God of War coming out. Why don't you go and purchase the game? Here's your points. Why don't you go play the game? Here's your points.
Okay. Well, like I said, just making mention of it.
Yeah. So, what's happening now?
All right. Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the dotEXE podcast.
Please.
Yes.
I want you to. I know. My voice is so cute.
You don't want to disappoint the little girl now, do you? See?
Oh, no.
Don't.
That was shaming.
No disappointing. No disappointing. Just click on that button that says subscribe or follow. Did you enjoy today's discussion? Let us know. Send us your comments, questions, topics, and corrections to dotEXE at savingcontent.com or leave a comment to @savingcontent on Twitter and Facebook.
Yep.
Saving Content is also on YouTube. So subscribe for video previews, reviews, trailers, and original content like this here dotEXE podcast. Now, are you looking for more gaming discussions? I hear you are. Then you'll want to check out Saving Content's Quick Save podcast with Evan and Scott. They're 2 doors down on the other side of this room, metaphorically speaking. And they've got a great show over there. They just recently released episode 52. So go and give that a listen and enjoy their program as much as you enjoy ours. I want to also remember to visit savingcontent.com for the latest news and reviews. Now, before we go, we only ask one teeny tiny favor, and that's a simple 5-star review. If you do that for us, we'll be deeply
eternally grateful.
Yes.
You can do that even in your podcast app, so it's super simple. Now, finally, don't forget to tell your friends about us here at dotEXE, as it'll help us grow, and we'd really appreciate it. And I think, Genevieve, why don't you read the part that says outro?
Okay.
Read it. It's at the bottom. It says "and outro."
Thank you for listening, and remember, kindness costs us nothing, but it means everything.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.